Good evening, everybody. It seems very strange this at 9 o'clock on a Sunday evening to be doing a show, but felt it necessary. It's Bank Holiday Monday tomorrow, and well, look, we're coming off the back of another fantastic win, so why not do the review tonight while everybody's still absolutely buzzing? Great victory today, 3-1, of course. Not the greatest first half, I have to say. It was very subdued. It wasn't a great viewing experience, I have to say. But you know what? It's going to happen this way. We're not at the races at full pelt straight away. You know, everyone sort of expecting us to go at Southampton and score 3 goals in 10 minutes and whatever it was. It wasn't ever going to be like that because Southampton have proved that they can be a very, very difficult side to play against. And I think that they did that in the first half today without a shadow of a doubt. But an Eddie Howe change at half-time. And, well, very, very different story in the second half where we just absolutely blew them out the water. It's just brilliant. It was brilliant. If you do enjoy tonight's show, guys, as usual, hit that like button. It really does keep us up there in the search results on YouTube. And, of course, if you're new and like what you see, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. Massive thank you to everybody. We hit 19,000 subscribers earlier today. We're nearly at 19,050 now. So we have dramatically gone up within a day already. So thank you so much. Our big target is obviously 20,000 and then beyond. But to get 20,000 from when we started, or when I started this channel all that time ago, it seemed like a pipe dream. So massive thanks to these 3 on the screen. A massive thanks to Danielle. A massive thanks to the mods. And, of course, a massive thanks to Susan, who does so much work behind the scenes for this channel. So thank you, each and every one. But thank you to you guys out there because you keep coming back, you keep subscribing, and we love you all very much. So thank you very much in advance for that. And, of course, let's not forget the legend that is Dave Harrison, of course, as well. Right, Billy, how did the watch-along go? Because I would assume you were quite subdued at half-time.
Yeah, it was a bit flat the first half. In patches, we played pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
In patches, we were dominated for a little while, but we were the better side first half, despite going 1 down. Defensive error for the goal, couple of defensive errors actually. But some promising attacks, and we should have actually scored 2 or 3 first half. If it wasn't for the finishing of Gordon and Bruno from a volley, I think we should certainly score 2.
Well, I think with certainly talking about Bruno, I think he went to hit it too hard. You know, he sort of lashed at it rather than what I would normally expect from Bruno is to just sort of gently caress that into the corner of the net, which is all he had to do, and it was a goal. But of course, you know, Bruno is a flamboyant kind of player and definitely went for the flamboyant finish. Anthony Gordon, Alex, for me, he was our brightest player in the first half today. Some good attacks down the left. He was willing to take the fullback on every time. But he just didn't have a finishing product today. And, you know, we've labelled this with Maxi a few times that sometimes it just doesn't happen. And, of course, he had a golden opportunity to open as an account for us today. And instead, I don't know why he did that, hit it with his left. I don't know why he didn't just put it to the other side of the keeper with his right.
Yeah, maybe it was just a case of he wasn't sure how much time he had. He just wanted to make sure he got the shot away because, you know, if you do take that additional touch, then that is the criticism the other way. Oh, he should have hit it first time. He shouldn't take another touch, Elliot. So, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really. He's young. He'll get there. You know, you've got to remember it's taken most of these lads a while to get used to how we play because we play in such a specific way. And it's very clear that everybody's got a huge role to play individually. Anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's how Pope plays, how Murphy plays, they've all got, you know, a lot of instructions. I know Eddie Howe tries to keep it simple on the day. You know, he's expressed that in interviews, but in the training ground, they go through a lot tactically on what is expected of you in the system for the balance of the team. It's a lot to take on for a young kid. You know, you can see he's got that raw talent and potential, which as long as he's showing that raw talent, I'm fine with it. I'm not too bothered. I know there's a lot of people getting a bit frustrated. They seem to want him to be the finished
article. There's a lot of hate for Anthony Gordon on social media right now, and I totally disagree with it.
We can, yeah, I agree with his mistakes though. He is making mistakes and he is not doing
But he
things
will.
perfectly. But yeah, exactly, he will. As long as he's showing that raw potential, it's fine because it means we can fine tune that and work with him.
Yeah.
Look what's happened with every other player under Eddie Howe. So
absolutely. NUFC Ollie says Anthony Taylor had a good game today. Yes, he did. I was very impressed with Anthony Taylor referee performance today. I think he didn't take any shit from Southampton because they were clearly time wasting first half, by the way. And what really frustrated me more, and I think frustrated quite a few of the Southampton fans, is when it was 1-1, there was still time wasting. They were still trying to play the game out when their side needed the 3 points because of the position they're in the league. So a lot of the fans were disappointed with that as well. But obviously, Jack, we go 1-0 down and it seems a bit sour at half-time. It's very, very quiet in the ground when we kicked off the second half. So it needed that spark. And we got it because he moved Isak to the left, brought Callum Wilson on, who, by the way, I absolutely apologize to for saying that I thought he was finished because clearly he had a fitness issue, whatever that illness was with him. He's just incredible. I mean, he's got 15 goals this season, which is remarkable, really, when you think about it. But it's great to see him back to his best. But more than ever, Jack, combining so brilliantly with Isak. Your mic's off, Jack.
There you go. Honestly, I want to see them both together a lot more. I mean, I know it's going to be harder with the likes of formations. Going to have to change a few stuff and take a risk. But it's not really a risk because you've just seen them plenty enough. And every time Isak and Wilson combine together, we score goals. And that's exactly what happened today at Southampton. The first half was very, very flat. We brought Wilson on, changed system, and we scored 3 goals in one half. So it's clearly working. And I just want to see that risk take from Eddie Howe to take a risk and play them both together and see how it goes on. But I do want to see them play together a lot more. Wilson changed the game along with Isak, and it did need that spark because even at 0-0, I thought get this one goal and goals will start rolling in. But then you can't say Southampton's goal wasn't really coming though. They were pushing hard. They were knocking on the door. But once we got that first goal after 1-0 down in the second half, I knew we'd start rolling in. Southampton would try and take the sting out of the game, trying to break our momentum, but it wouldn't work. You can't beat Newcastle, the Newcastle crowd at St James's. It's inevitable. You can't beat them. And we just kept rolling on. We won't back down from a fight. We need to show these sort of teams why we're in top 4, and we indeed did that today.
Yeah.
Very proud of the lads.
Yeah, I mean, we were sitting. we were
still on the rock star from earlier. I see.
Don't use to start again. We were saying, listen, I've done a match day vlog as well, which will be out tomorrow morning. Just going up to the ground and interviewing a few people before and after the game. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. I'm going to start doing that a bit more at the home games. It was great to, got an interview with John Sinclair, Adam P, Peter Proudlook, and some people. So it was great. So that'll be out on the channel in the morning. But we were all saying before the game, we expected Southampton to make it difficult for us in the first half, and they kind of did, Billy, because we couldn't get into free-flowing football in the first half. There was stuttering the game a little bit, but it's what they came to do, and I think a couple of you guys actually said that on the preview show, that's what they would come to do. We wouldn't go and blow them away.
No, they've caused us problems in every game we played them this season.
Yeah,
they've got some good young players who seem to stand up to the challenge. Lavia in the centre midfield was outstanding, I thought. Stuart Armstrong always causes problems. As I said the other day,
always bloody scores against us.
And he scored, as I said he would. Well, I didn't say he would, but it's a good chance of it.
Yeah,
it's they're not shouldn't be where the position lies because they've got some good players there. The dodgy managerial decisions made by the board has really cost them the place in the Premier League, I feel.
Yeah.
Can I just add something to that as well?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Bruno felt the need to apologise for his performance on Twitter goes to show how good Lavia is in midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a $4.99 super chat from DK. Romeo Lavia, guys. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Just mentioned them.
Man City have a buyback clause, mate. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, they do. John says, evening, lads. Toon fans everywhere. Great second half. Paul, you're thanking everyone. We thank you and the rest of your team. Great content as always. How do you think Anthony Gordon would have felt at halftime, Alex? I may disappear a second while I change my Wi-Fi over, but how do you think he felt going in and being told he was coming off?
I mean, the answer's not directed at you. The answer's directed at the question. I don't care, and I don't think Eddie Howe would care either. To a point, it's about the team and the system, and that's been explained to him in recent weeks. I'd got dual commentary on, so I could hear Billy and other commentary, and they did mention the spat from a few weeks ago, upon Wilson coming on in the second half.
Mm.
I don't think it matters. I think once it's explained to him, I don't really know Gordon as a person. I don't know if he's an intelligent lad or so. I can't speak for whether he'd get it or not. I hope he would, but it's not about him. It's not about his poor performances I say poor performance. It wasn't that bad. He got his shot away. He was energetic. He was all right, but it did also upset the balance of the team a little bit. And Isak's just obviously better, and that's not anything. It's not a bad reflection on Gordon. No, I hopefully he might have felt frustrated in the moment, but I can imagine the coaching staff / Eddie Howe would have made a point in explaining that to him quickly. As soon as that decision was made, they would have made sure they explained it to Gordon to just prevent any animosity or any issues, because they don't want a repeat of toys out the pram, even whether it's in public or in private. They want to make sure there's squad harmony there. So,
I mean, look, Isak came on, Jack, changed the game for me. Went to the left and changed the game. Just gave us so many more options, very direct, and of course led to our first goal. Cut in, played it across. Wilson does what Wilson does, put it in the back of the net.
And that's what's superb about having Isak. He can be a striker and he can finish, but he can also do that as well. He's what would you call it? He's what would you call it? I forgot what you call it.
Sublime.
No, not really sublime.
Flexible.
Not the word I was thinking of, Billy, but yeah, that word. Flexible, because he can be up front and he can play on the left or the right, because he's just that sort of player, and that's also why we went and bought him, because he can do that as well. And that's just the superpower of having Isak, and he showed that today again. Just kind of like the Brentford game. He sits behind Wilson or goes to the left, and he just works and works and works, and it just works like a treat. And that is the superpower of having Isak. It really, really is. And good pick out to find Wilson and a good finish by Wilson. But yeah, Isak changed the game alongside Wilson.
It gives him... I mean, another super chat coming there. Alex Huggan, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. Congrats on 19K. Great result today and great content. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Alex. Billy, he's got an interesting decision to make now, because a lot of people were saying that Isak and Wilson, do they play together? Is he going to play them together? It seems to be his go-to combination to get us going a little bit. So, does he, dare I say, start Isak left next week?
There's a chance of it, because it's such a big game, isn't it? Arsenal at home. Do we compete without Isak out left? Possibly not. I'm worried about having Longstaff out. I really am. He's the glue that holds it all together. And gambling on for a half of Isak on the left and Wilson up front works for 90 minutes. I'm not sure. What if that doesn't work for the first 45 minutes? Well, where does Eddie Howe go to then? This is my problem with it.
Well,
but the Longstaff issue
is
really, it's the one that worries me. Really does.
Well, if you look at Bruno's two worst performances in recent months, it's been the two that Longstaff weren't in.
Yeah. That's a good point, that. Geordie Mick, thank you for your £2 super chat. Nice to meet you today, buddy. He says, Gordon is part of the future. Trust in Howe.
I had a little check, by the way, just while you guys were talking. He looks fine in the picture post-match. He's
he does.
Front and centre next to Bruno, smiling, cheering. It's all right.
It just, the reason I ask that question about playing the two together is because Callum Wilson's on the form of his life again now. He is. And what he's doing is he's actually roughing those centre-backs up again. He's getting stuck in, but he's holding the ball up so much better. He's turning, he's running with it, and he's sprinting. And when he's at full pelt, it's difficult to catch him because he's away. And I just think, he could do the same to Arsenal next week, but you also can't leave Isak out the side because he is just a genius to watch. So, fantastic stuff today. Callum Wilson could have had 4, if we're openly honest. The offside goal, it was offside. I don't know why VAR took 3.5 hours to make the decision. It was offside, Alex.
Was it?
Yes. They don't know who kicked it last. That's what they were checking for. They knew it was offside. It was about.
Do you know who kicked it last or first?
Clearly, it was given offside, Alex. So we have to go with VAR and say that it was a Newcastle player. Otherwise, it just
they went offside because of that right there.
Yeah, but being in the ground, right, when they're doing that, it was 4 minutes, right?
Yeah. Did you see that? Have you seen a replay of it or?
No, what they did was when the decision was made, they put the lines up on the big screen. They didn't show anything prior to that.
The lines weren't okay. So the lines weren't. That wasn't what they were trying to distinguish. Determine. That's the word. So we understand. Yeah, the whole point in offside with VAR is the lines are the lines. You can't be, it's 100%. But that's not what they were trying to determine. They were trying to determine who it touched, if it touched one or not the other, or both, or who first then second. That was what the replays were. The replays we got at home on the screen, they were zooming in on the contact and whether it touched the Southampton player or Miggy or both, or they weren't sure. So that was what they had to try and determine, and it wasn't conclusive at all from the replays they were looking at.
But that's where VAR is a pain in the arse because in the ground you don't know this, you don't know what they're looking at.
The lines were right, but that wasn't the problem. The problem was who did it touch, and I'm still not sure.
Right, well, see, I haven't seen that, and we didn't see that in the ground. That is where VAR needs to improve because
the fact that nobody's sure,
let the fans know.
Go with. My opinion is you should go with the referee's original decision, and as Billy rightly said, I don't think the flag went up. No, so you go with the decision, the on-field decision, which is goal because they couldn't tell.
Peter Griffiths, thanks for you. £2 super chat. He says, Alex, I've got a ticket for you. I'll need to speak to you about that, Alex, at some point. I'll give you a belt tomorrow.
Golden ticket.
Sunderland v Middlesbrough.
I'm all right. Take it back.
Well, speaking of Sunderland, I was talking to Eddie from Tyneside Live today, and he went to Sunderland's game yesterday.
Right.
To interview Sunderland fans to try and convert them into Newcastle fans. Honestly, the man has seriously brass balls because
it wasn't dressed as a seagull, was it?
No, but I'll tell you something. The man has brass balls because I wouldn't have done it. Not a chance in hell. No way.
I'll be Adam P's next video.
Tell you what, bloody mental. Absolutely mental. And by the way, massive shout out to the girls team as well. They won 6-0 today at Bradford. 1 game left. They are definitely have a superior goal difference. So if they win, they are promoted. So massive hats off to the lasses again, who just seem to be doing what the men are doing, just putting the ball in the back of the net numerous times a game now. So tremendous.
I don't like Bradford at the moment because they stopped Cobblers getting automatically promoted the other day from League Two. So
they did. And Peter Walton wasn't very happy with that, the old referee, because he's also a Cobbler fan. Kari says, is Longstaff out for the season? My star in this team. Many said he isn't good enough, but we missed him one half today and in Villa. Longstaff should get his credit. I love own players. Don't know about Longstaff. I don't think Eddie's given us any inclination of how long he's out for.
The Chronicle intimated he's out for the season, but Eddie said he's not. So
yeah, I think Eddie said it's not broken. There's nothing. There's not a break. It's just I can't remember what he said, but it wasn't a break. So.
All right, well,
was he wearing a cast, Alex, on the photo?
I've got no idea. I think this was just Eddie Howe's words.
I've seen the photo. I've seen the photo. You can't see his feet.
No, you can't
because there's people in front of him.
Yeah. Interesting on the team photo that Maxi wasn't in it. Now we know he's back.
Let me have a look.
Emil Kraft's in it. Longstaff's in it, but no Maxi. So I don't know what to make of that. I don't know whether there's anything in that. Probably not.
He might have just been given time off. Who knows?
Well, he's had plenty of time off,
Might
Alex.
actually need a rest at home or something. I don't know. You don't know. You have no clue.
I don't think he needed a rest, but he might have been given. I'm just looking through the picture now. Obviously, Lascelles is at the back, despite obviously having gotten an injury. He's definitely out for the season, apparently.
Yeah. Seth says, looking at the table now, I can't see how we don't get Champions League. It's incredible. Yeah, look, I think a couple of wins still are needed just to be sure. We can certainly get those couple of wins quite quickly and have it all done and dusted before the season ends. Of course, if we can go to Stamford Bridge and it's all done, then plain sailing.
Paul, today's result guarantees us no lower than 7th.
Yeah. So, and we're not going to fall that far anyway.
Well, no, but it just means we're definitely going to Italy. Whether it depends where in Italy. That's not what we're going to try and find out.
Yeah. Douglas Wilson, thank you for your membership. Welcome to Members Club, my friend, and thank you for your support for the channel. Stephen Donathy, thank you very much for your $4.99. He says, I wish we could collect and reuse the energy our lads put out. We could power England. That's the thing, isn't it, Jack? We don't stop. Even when we went one down today, a lot of fans were saying, sitting there at half-time thinking we can still win this game. And I was as well, to be fair. Even though it felt a bit flat around St. James's Park, you always have that inclination these days that Newcastle United are going to come back and win a football match.
That's just the morale of the team nowadays, because we can't stand losing. We can't stand it. We hate losing. I'm pretty sure everyone does. I don't think anyone likes losing. But the team, they don't like losing, and they want to always win. And because you love that feeling of winning, and they can't stress out how they want to feel that again. And they just always want to come out. They've always got that fighting passion in them. The likes of Bruno, Gordon, they're all passionate and they're all want to win. And that's exactly what they did today. And when they go in 1-0 down, Eddie, I would have talked to the lads, and they would have got fired up. And that's what that team is nowadays. That's what the team is now. And we always go out there and fight for the points. And that's exactly what we did today.
Indeed. Peter Griffith, thank you for another £5 super chat. Hopefully you can make it. Our lass loves you to bits. That's for Alex. But like I say, I'll talk about it. Now, one thing I do want to address today is something that Rachel's put here.
Cookies.
Can I just address the behaviour of some in the chat this afternoon during the watch along? As mods, we do this because we love this fantastic channel. We should not have to put up with the abuse for doing our jobs. The simple thing is now, you get 0 opportunities. If you decide to come on here and just be abusive to the mods or the people on the screen or the other viewers, they're now under instructions just to block you from the channel. It's as simple as that. You won't get any warnings or anything like that. Nobody deserves any abuse. These mods are fantastic that we have on this channel. They're a friendly, brilliant bunch who, always get involved in the chat. We had that idiot saying stuff about Susan on the other stream, which annoyed me profusely. And it's all right to say, don't get annoyed, they're only keyboard warriors, but it does. It does get to you at times. And Rachel and the other mods don't deserve any kind of abuse whatsoever. So from this moment forward, any abuse that the mods do get, you will be blocked from the channel without even a warning. You're just gone. So the mods do a job, especially during watch-alongs when it's really, really incredibly busy in the chat. They have an impossible task, right? And they do not deserve any kind of abuse whatsoever. So we're just not going to put up with it anymore. So yeah, that's that out the way. Spacebar says Gordon will come good, just needs minutes and matches. He was decent today. Had that gone on in off the post, it's a different game, and he is off the mark.
Can I just say something on that?
Yeah.
Thing is with Gordon, I know everyone's slacking Gordon off, which I don't know why, because I think he was our brightest player in the first half. A lot of these players, the likes of Longstaff, the likes of Kraft, the likes of Amron, the likes of Willock, when Eddie Howe first came in 2021, November, a lot of them players still found it hard to get to the use of to get used to the play of Eddie Howe's system. And then once the end of the season came and they went to a pre-season with Eddie Howe, they turned up. Look at Willock this season. Look at Longstaff this season, playing out the skin. So what I think will come good with Gordon, there's definitely something there. Otherwise, we won't buy him. Why buy him if there's nothing there to improve on with Eddie Howe? Once he has that pre-season under Eddie Howe, next season Mark my words. Next season, Gordon will be fantastic. Mark my words.
Absolutely.
The thing with Gordon today
Yep.
was, and I've criticised him the past twice he started, is he constantly was on his right foot, cutting in across the pitch. Today was the exact opposite. He went on the outside every single time. Don't think he even kicked him with his right foot hardly. I think he needs to mix him up a bit, and we've got a player there.
Yeah,
he's too predictable.
Mods, can you make sure you got rid of that Matriox knobhead, please? Absolute idiot. David says, I was disgusted by the attitude from someone here during the live this afternoon towards young Gordon. He will develop as most of the other players have under Howe.
Of course.
I mean, I don't get why the hate for him, because he's only played a handful of games. You can't possibly make a judgment on a player in a handful of games. It's crazy. Monty Magpie, thank you very much for your £2 super chat. Very kind. Thank you so much. JP says, belly full of ale, 3 points for the Champions League mags and TTR Live. Life doesn't get better. Thank you very much. Wes says, we need to get behind the lads, not skate them. We need Maxi as a game changer and for squad depth, and Gordon will develop into a great player. Let Howe and the coaching staff work their magic. Phil says, Gordon was purchased as an upcoming player full of potential. He's going to be an excellent player. We need to give him the grace and space to develop. Finally, some sensible comments about Anthony Gordon. Paul says, a bit disappointed with all the negative Anthony Gordon is getting. The kid hasn't been here 2 minutes. Give him a chance. Eddie obviously sees something in the lad, or he wouldn't be here. Exactly what you said, Jack. So it really does.
There's a bit of a theme going on with our left wingers at the moment.
I think it's because Max is injured. So they're moving on to another player until he comes back.
It's like people have just got... Maybe there's a curse on left wing specifically. Whoever wants to be a permanent left winger just gets abuse. Doesn't seem to matter who it is.
Yeah.
Poor Ryan Fraser.
I mean, he deserved it.
Yes, Alex. Yes. Yeah, but when you clearly have the manager coming out and saying that about a player, then you know the attitude isn't right. Especially for...
I mean, I never really commented on the attitude because I don't know Ryan Fraser, so that was never my issue, because it seemed like he worked his butt off to a point, which was fine. It was just his speed. It was losing to Jack Colback that annoyed me.
In the race, first game of the season.
I never got over that. That was it. I know that I shouldn't make a decision on a player based on 10 minutes.
When he just come on as well. Yeah.
He just came on, 80th minute, brought on against Notts Forest, and he loses a foot race, a 30-yard foot race to Jack Colback. I'm not having that. I could beat Jack Colback in a foot race.
Well, yeah. Paul Tully says, is Isak switching to the left, highlighting our lack of threat from the left, with Byrne being there?
Ooh, that is a very good point.
It is interesting, but I think Dan Byrne played well today. I didn't have a problem with Dan Byrne.
Yeah, but this is the thing that people don't seem to understand. Dan Byrne generally plays quite well most of the time, but it still is restricting our attacking down the left. He still plays fine, but if we had somebody who was Dan Byrne plus a bit more attacking, we would be so much better.
Yeah, well, I know, but he did go on some overlaps today. He did do some overlaps today.
I mean, I should hope so. I should hope he would be progressing in that position because he's got enough damn minutes in it now. But he is. He's looked better recently. He had a little bit of a wobble, 2 or 3 games where he struggled, and he's looked, the last few games we've not really spoken about him, which is a good thing. He's been a lot better.
Yeah. Gillian Tippins, welcome to Members Club. Thank you so much for your membership and support of the channel. Really do appreciate that. Barry the Beast says, I really hope we don't start making Isak play on the left. Honestly, I want him to be my main striker. Yeah, I understand that, but you have to look at how much he came into the game in the second half. He had nothing. He had nothing in the first half. I mean, some of the Bruno tried a few long balls to both him and Murphy, and they were just slightly overhit. But Murphy was off his game today, Billy.
Yeah, he put the effort in, didn't he? He started pretty well. And then Eddie swapped wings, didn't he? Which is something we've asked for lots of times. Yeah. Swapped him over, and he didn't look the same on the left-hand side, did he? Gordon didn't look the same on the right.
Well, I think he swapped wings because of Gordon, not because of Murphy. I think he did it for Gordon.
But it made them both ineffective in actual fact.
Yeah. Graham Ritchie, thank you for your $10 super chat. Greetings from the Cayman Islands. Hats off to Eddie for changing things around. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. John says, would anyone swap Isak for Haaland? Sorry if anyone is offended by the question.
Depends what you want. If you want 40 goals, yes. If you want an all-round fantastic watch, no.
I think he summed it up perfectly. Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't.
Now, was that bias or honesty?
No, I wouldn't. Not now.
Would we get the service in for Haaland to score the goals he has?
Exactly. That's my point. I don't think Haaland would get the service that he gets at Manchester City, and that he's had at Dortmund in the past. Haaland is incredible in the box. Absolutely an incredible striker.
He also did it at RB Salzburg as well, and in the Champions League for Salzburg.
All right, Alex. But what I'm saying is, he's a very much a penalty area footballer, whereas for me, Isak is more than that. So at this present time, if I'm being honest, I don't think we'd get the same. I agree with Billy. I don't think we get the same service into Haaland, where at the minute we've got a player who can play a bit more, is a bit more versatile. So, don't get me wrong. Haaland is an incredible footballer, incredible striker, but I wouldn't at the moment.
Or a 4-4-2 with both of them up front.
Well, yeah, but the question was, would you swap Isak for Haaland? No.
I prefer the way Billy framed it at the beginning. Do you want 40 goals or do you want a complete forward?
But he wouldn't get 40 goals with us. He wouldn't get the service to get 40 goals.
I mean, he'd get close.
In this present team,
he'd get close.
I don't think he would. Maybe, but I don't think he would get 40 goals.
60% possession against like most of the league. We would get enough service to him to score goals. Like this is a lad that wasn't it one of the Champions League nights. His post-match interview, it was like, so Erling, you had 5 shots and you scored 5 goals. How do you feel about that tonight?
I feel very good.
I feel very good. He does not need that much service. The man is a freak.
Look, I'm being honest. He's
a robot. It's just controlled by.
He is more reliant on service than what Isak is, though. Isak can make his own goals more than what.
Yeah. Sorry, but his interviews are class. They're the greatest things that's happened to football.
His hairstyle's a fucking joke, though, to be quite honest with you.
And his reference.
Yeah, I mean, his hair. I mean, he took his ponytail out the other night in the. My God, I mean, no, I'm not.
He's a Viking. His hair out and then scored. Now everybody thinks that's like his superpower.
Well, no, you can jump on his back and ride him like a horseman. He's got a mane, for Christ's sake. I mean, I know I'm no one to talk because I've got any hair, right? That's fine, and I don't care about that. And we're past that stage, but. For me, that's not a bloke's hairstyle. It just isn't.
I think
it's not.
I think it'd just start a bit further back.
No,
it wasn't the 80s.
It was in the 80s. Exactly. The 80s had that time to have that haircut. Not now. Nope.
And if I release this man bun that no one can see, I'll have it again.
Well, yeah. Not for me.
Oh no, we got told off to talk about haircuts last show, so we need to.
Yeah, we did. We didn't get a white bollocking fit. Paul, I think his name was Stephen Taylor. Actually,
gave
us thumbs down for it.
Oh dear. I mean, if people are complaining about that, well, what kind of life must they have?
We should just have a segment for it now.
As if I mean, bollocks. Yes, we'll have a haircut 100 section in every show for around 10 minutes.
Matt Ritchie or Elliot
just to piss him off. Yeah. Honestly, man. Christ. JB says, if it took so long, they weren't sure who it came off. So how can they overrule the on-field decision?
Yep,
because it's like Jack said, you look at the badge on the shirt and that'll tell you why. Glenn, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for your membership as well. Thank you for your support of the channel. And DK, thank you for another $4.99. He says, would you spend our entire transfer budget on Osimhen and partner him with Wilson with Isak behind?
No,
that's not how we play.
We've got like 6 contracts expiring.
If
we get one injury, we're dead.
We've got Champions League next season. We can't just blow all the money out on one player.
Well, very true. Now, one man that has come out on social media after the game and said that he was not up to his usual standards was Bruno. Now, I find that a little bit strange because I thought Bruno did okay today. There was a couple of some lovely touches. I don't see how he had a bad game. Maybe he wasn't
I think it's because he gave the ball away for the goal. I think that's why he's. I think it's just that in his head, possibly.
Yeah, maybe, but
And he didn't give the ball away. He just got tackled. Like it happens sometimes.
I've got some stats here. He was first in accurate passes, 58 from 66. First in tackles, 4. First in duels, 1, 11 from 18. First in fouls, suffered 3. Second in actions with the ball, 88. Second in decisive passes, and second in accurate dribbling. That's a bad game for him.
Hang on while I just go my chin up off the floor. Billy's done some homework. I mean,
no, I didn't. I copied a tweet off Twitter.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Toon Sean says, please shut Villa watch up. He's on about Purslow. What he was saying about some investigation or takeover. Just block him. He's not even a Villa fan. And to be honest, if I looked like that, I'd rather drown myself, to be honest. So, I mean, I don't know whether you've seen him, but he just looks like that kind of person that you just want to smack in the middle of the face and never see again. He's an arsehole, so just block him. Geordie Howeman says, I didn't get the 6 minutes at a time. VAR took 4 minutes, subs, 3 goals, etc. Should have been more. Why would you want more?
Because we would have scored more.
Well, the game was over. That's just
wanted Wilson to get the hat trick.
Fair enough. I mean, he
going for it.
Very unlucky.
I mean, the one that came off the bar twice. I mean, how unlucky do you have to be?
They were looking for Wilson as well. Anybody who got the ball,
they were. Of course
looking
they were.
For Wilson.
Sophia says, I didn't realise the show was on tonight. Well, that's no good, Sophia. You obviously didn't have your notifications on, because as soon as I put the show on earlier on, about 2.5 hours ago, you would have got a notification, Sophia. Shocking. James Logan, thank you for your $10 super chat. He says, Gordon will be great with a full pre-season. Isak and Wilson together works best with one coming off the bench. First half was players trying too hard and being sloppy. Congrats on 19K. Yeah, interesting take on it. Isak on the left, Wilson up front, Miggy left? How can we have Miggy left and Isak left? I think you mean right. Longstaff back in the centre. Yeah, but who would you
get
take
some
out?
Crosses in from Miggy, that's probably why.
I mean, we could have both left and just play some funny asymmetrical system, but it means Trippier is going to have a real tough game.
Be good to see Miggy get some crosses into the box.
Yeah, he'd have a lot of defending to do, to be fair, wouldn't he? Jens says, did anyone see the kick from Jota in the head on Skip today? Clear red card. We would have gotten a red for that 100%.
Scandalous. I think the Premier League have sussed out who the challenge is to Newcastle United getting Champions League football, and they decided it's Liverpool. Because that was a disgrace.
I did see it actually. It was shocking. Absolutely disgraceful. White Rabbit says Bruno is on 4 yellow cards. If he gets another, does his red card affect how long he is out? Surprised Eddie doesn't sub him when we're safe.
No, the 5 yellow cards were all finished back in December.
It's done now. You can get as many as you want now. Paul says, I couldn't support Sunderland even if I wanted to. My parents were married. Oh, dear. Ladies development team also got a 13-0 win today. I mean, the Maggies are just stuffing everybody at the minute, aren't they? They really are. Goldfather says, any special plans for 20K subs, Paul? Well, a headquarters would be nice. I mean, if I go off what, a certain other person I've seen on YouTube tonight saying that, when he eventually gets to 1,000 subscribers, he's going to be a multi-millionaire. He's gonna have an office, a private box at St James's. He's gonna have all his subscribers in there, all on 1,000 subscribers. So I mean, we must be doing something wrong because we're on 19K and we aren't millionaires. So I'm not sure where on earth. I mean, talk about deluded, but it's all right to have dreams and ambitions as long as you don't sort of give your subscribers any sort of what's the word I'm looking for?
False hope.
False hope. That's it, Billy. Yeah, and basically lie to them because it's not going to happen in a gazillion years. Michael Marsden, thank you very much for your 20 quid super chat, buddy, and thank you for your awesome camera work again today. Michael is the official cameraman for the Toon Review on the vlogs. So yeah, I've watched them all back. The wireless microphones were perfect. The picture's perfect on the old GoPro.
Was it just zooming in on a chili burger in one of them though?
No, he didn't actually have one today. He had one last week because of the performance. He was so elated. He felt like he had to celebrate with the chili burger.
Should have had 6.
Well,
I beg your pardon?
No, I've got to. Billy,
What did you say?
He should have. He should have had 6 burgers, Billy.
Oh, right.
So we scored 6 goals.
Oh, right, with you. I thought you said something that someone in New Zealand might have said.
No.
No, yeah. Anyway, Alex has to go. He's obviously got his good lady over, but he did. He was due to have 4 days vacation, but he just can't stay away.
We keep winning. I can't help myself.
Yeah, so we will let him go now and be with his good lady, and we will see Alex again on Wednesday. So take care, buddy. Good night.
See you, mate.
See you guys.
See you there.
So there you go. Stato has left to, obviously, Anya's over from Poland for a few days, and it's only right he spends that time with her. And hopefully she gets a visa sorted very quickly and she can be over here permanently, because it must be a horrible situation. It really must be. Jason says, we are unstoppable. A beautiful thing. A city and people represented by football. That's the difference between us and the rest.
Well said.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. You don't have to finish my sentences, and for that, you can go on to the bottom row now. Incredible.
I've been demoted.
Yeah. Well, if we're doing it in rank, Billy deserves to be up there. You're just still the young gun, remember?
So, Paul, you're the king.
Absolutely.
Billy's the prince, and I'm
You
the
say Queen then?
Yeah, he probably would have said that. He probably would have said that if Alex was still on. To be fair. Bristolian Mag says the pressure might be on us a little with Liverpool playing twice before we do, and they could be 3 points behind.
Excellent.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Two home games too. They've got Fulham and Brentford before we play again.
Yeah, I think Brentford will turn them over. I honestly do. Yeah.
With VAR.
By the way,
Klopp pull his hammy.
Yeah, I'm just about to say that. That man is a disgrace. Did you see his reaction when Liverpool scored that 4th goal? The aggressive nature who goes up to the 4th official. And by God, it was funny that he pulled his stupid hamstring. And I hope, Jurgen, that hurts you for days to come when you're lying in bed and you turn over and your hammy pulls, because let's face it, you're not a young gun anymore. Therefore, it will take longer to repair, and you deserve to snap your hamstring. The aggressive nature that you went at that 4th official. And surely, Billy, something's got to be said about that.
Well, I think he should get a six game ban at least for it. Because he's not listening to what he's been done for this before, hasn't he? Let's be honest. It should have been sent off. Tierney should have sent him off. I think the hamstring was a pretend thing. I don't think he did it. I think he's trying to stop the referee from sending him off. I think it's all play acting. Don't be surprised if he comes out next game without a limp, and he walked on the pitch at the end without a limp. So I don't believe he's pulled his hammy.
Yeah. He didn't just shout at the 4th official. He went up to the 4th official and just went at him. Like, you can't do that. You just can't do that. You can't go. That's technically threatening the 4th official. You're going to swing for him. You can't do that.
He's just a horrible little man. Sophia says, I saw a YouTube video of Michael Owen and Rafa talking about Liverpool beating Spurs. And Rafa said that Anfield's atmosphere is better than St. James's Park. I'm putting Rafa in the bin.
If he said
that. I don't know how he can say that, because Anfield, like you say, Billy, the speakers in certain positions at Anfield, and it goes quiet when the game kicks off. So I don't know. There's some funny takes on their atmosphere. Peter Griffith says, I must admit my sense of humour didn't help that one, considering I chatted to you today saying that I was Richard. Exactly, yeah. I mean, are you Peter? Are you Richard? Who are you? Rafa would say that's a fear. He hasn't seen it truly bouncing. Even when he was here, was the Ashley rumblings in the background. Yeah, absolutely. Rachel just thanking everybody for their support. Foxy says, love that second half today. It was beautiful to see. Looked such a threat with Isak, Wilson, Miggy. But my man of the match goes to Billy for the 10 out of 10 commentary. Thank you very much, Foxy. Really kind. I did have just a minor heart attack, Billy, at about 2 minutes before kickoff when I felt my phone vibrate. And I looked at our WhatsApp chat and saw you asking for certain things. certain things. Yes, I did have a little bit of a panic. So thank you for giving me a heart attack. But Jesus Christ, it all went swimmingly anyway. Though that's the main thing. Craig Tippins, thank you for your new membership as well. We're getting an influx of members tonight, guys. Thank you so much for your support and welcome to Members Club, Craig. We are going to move on to the player ratings, guys, because I have a feeling this is going to be interesting. But of course, Stato's not here, so I can't get into a fight with anyone tonight. Well, Jack's here. You know,
we don't normally tussle over player ratings, Paul.
We will tussle over anything, right? My young apprentice. Derek says, Clippity Klopp even said in his interview that the hammer was punishment enough. Trying to preempt his punishment. Well, of course he is, because he's an absolute knob.
Never happened.
Yeah. David says, shout out to Billy, who superbly commentated on the game. I was dragged around the shops, so everyone in Argos and Costa were listening to Billy on full speaker. This channel is superb. Thank you very much, David. Much appreciated. What was I going to do? Oh, yes. Before we do the player ratings, a message from our mascot. Born to be alive.
She needs milking. She's getting herself caught in the spokes of the back wheel. Could be paid for that. Should be sterilised before she's pasteurised.
Billy!
Stop it.
I mean, Billy has a very sort of soft spot, of course, for Daisy because, you know,
Not
of course,
soft.
we
Not so soft.
She was mine.
Please be soft. Because obviously it used to be
My girl.
It used to be Billy's girl, but she was taken instead of the channel mascot.
For the greater good. For the greater good, to be fair.
Yes. Paul, I've just joined as a new member. How long does it take to display on the channel? It should do it straight away, but I haven't seen anything. We'll keep an eye out on that, matey. Spike Milligan, thank you for your £10. Thank you for your continued fantastic support of the channel. There's no comment there, but thanks, buddy. It really means a lot. Adam says, I've just started watching yous again recently. Where's Danielle? Danielle decided to step down. Loads of stuff going on in her personal life with work and things like that. So she's still a massive friend of the channel. She's always in the chat. Well, she's in the chat quite a lot, especially for watch-alongs and stuff like that. But she's got a lot on. A very, very stressful job as well, I have to say. So credit to her for doing that. David says, getting your teats caught in the spokes would be eye-watering. I don't want to know, quite frankly. Right. Okay, guys, it is time now for the player ratings. So we will start with you, Billy Bob Coleman, on Nick Pope.
Yeah, a couple of good saves early doors. Not a lot to do after that. Had no chance with the goal. I thought we had a fair game today, Nick Pope. Give him an 8.
Okay, Jack?
I agree with Billy. I'll give him a 7. I think, yeah.
Hang on. I agree with Billy. I'll give him a 7.
No, let me, Paul, let me finish my
You've
sentence.
had a Castori.
Hold on a minute. He didn't let me finish. I agree with what Billy said. Apart from the score, I agree with he made some good saves early doors. I mean,
Well,
that
you didn't
save in
say
the first,
that, did you?
You didn't let me finish.
You didn't say that.
In the first 30 seconds, they had a chance. Good save by Nick Pope. Made a few good saves. Second half had nothing to do. Didn't threaten us whatsoever. So I'll give him a 7.
I'm going to give him an 8. I thought what he needed to do, he did fine for me. Made a couple of good saves in the first half. There was one down to his right, I think, very early doors actually. The first 10 minutes that he got down to very well and held on. So I was pretty pleased with what Nick Pope did today. Right, Kieran Trippier, Jack.
Oh God, why? Why me first with Kieran Trippier? I think Kieran Trippier. Thing is, I think his deliveries weren't up to standards again today.
Apart from the one that he took for the corner we scored from.
Yeah, but that's just one.
Yeah,
but
I know.
nothing happened with his deliveries again today. But I feel like I didn't see too much from Trippier today. I thought he was kind of defensively sound. I don't think a lot went on his side today. I think it was mostly Botman and Burns' side, really, that most attacks came from. And the first goal for Southampton came from Burn and Botman's side. So I'll give Trippier. I don't know. It's a shame you don't do points like 8.5 or something like that.
No,
I give him that. I'm a bit torn in between. Oh, I don't know. I'll give him an 8.
8.
Oh, I don't know.
Right, well, you've done it. So I'm giving him a 6. I didn't think Kieran had his best day today. Again, some of his deliveries were rotten, but he did provide a good one for the corner. But he looked a little bit lumpy and tired today. But I think the week off will do him the power of good to recharge the batteries. Look, he didn't do anything wrong defensively at all. He covered quite well. But a 6 from me. Well, sort of. Billy.
Well, it was his fault for the goal. He lost his man.
Well, yeah, he did. Yeah,
which was horrendous defending, and it's not the first time he's done it either.
No, you're right. You're right.
I thought his set pieces were a lot better. To be fair, I thought they were a lot better. Okay. So I'm going to give him a 7.
Okay. So he ends up on a 7 if you average out over the 3. There you go. Right across to the other side, Dan Burn. Steady away again. Nothing spectacular. Did his job. 7. Billy?
Yeah, I agree with that. Didn't cost us anything defensively, but didn't provide us anything in attacking mode. 7.
Yep. Jack?
Well, to be fair, I was going to go 7, but if I've given Trippier an 8, and I've got to give Dan. I agree with Billy. Dan Burn didn't do anything attackingly really, but he was sound defensively. So I'll give him an 8. If I give him Trippier an 8, I've got to give Dan Burn. You got to understand, Paul. If I gave him Trippier an 8, which I wish I gave him a 7 now.
Yeah, but you're a damn fool for giving Trippier an 8.
I know. It always happens with Trippier.
And now you put yourself in a situation that you've got to score a player higher than what you would have given him because you're giving
it always happens with Trippier. It always happens with Trippier. But if I give him Trippier an 8, I've got to give Dan Burn an 8.
And don't you come across all friendly there, Billy Trey, saying it,
It's his opinion. If he wants to choose that, he can.
This is my opinion.
Yeah, but it's not his opinion that even though it's wrong. Dear. You've had a Castori on Trippier, mate.
Your opinion.
No. It's quite a lot of opinions in the chat, actually, that no way is Trippier an 8.
Your opinion.
Your hair. Anyway, we will move on now to Sven Botman. And I thought Botman was fine today. I think he was very unlucky not to score. But I'm going to give Botman an 8. Billy?
Yeah, I agree with that. Solid defensively. Just an 8 out of 10, which is what you get. That's his minimum performance every week, basically, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Caused havoc in the box for a couple of set pieces. He was solid as well. 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Which means Jack's going to give him a 10. You do know that. Here we go. Jack.
Well, disclaimer, I'm not giving him a 10. Do any of you remember? This is a little heart attack moment as well. When I was literally mentioning the Nottingham Forest thing where Sven Botman.
Dan Botman
had a little back pass to Nick Pope and it fell a little short. As soon as I said that, ball came over, he headed the ball, and the header wasn't hard enough, and Nick Pope had to quickly run off his line. Dan Burt, no, oh my God, I'm doing it again. Botman.
Billy,
no, I'm just saying there's been a 147 in the snooker. Max Alby's got 147 in the final.
Oh wow, in the final, bloody hell!
Mm-hmm.
What a time to get that.
Sven Botman, he was defensively sound. I'll give Sven Botman an 8.
Okay, we'll move on to Fabian Schär. Jack.
Fabian Schär, he just reminds me of a little bit of a CDM kind of thing. He likes to thrive with the ball up the pitch. He's very good at defending. I think he was defensively sound again today, so I'll give him probably an 8 as well.
Yeah, I'm going for an 8 as well. Yeah, he did try a few passes in the first half, which were slightly overhit, but so did Bruno. A lot of the passes were overhit. But second half, he was centre back, he was centre midfield, he was right wing at one time. Let's not forget, it was his cross that Wilson hit the bar. From Cher being in the right wing position. So I just think he's again, like we say about Botman. I mean, Cher of an 8 isn't as good as he normally can be, but it's a hell of a score. So, Billy?
Yeah, I think he's the best attacking centre back in the league, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Footballing wise, certainly. Maybe the goals don't show that, but he's always there or thereabouts for shots and being a danger on goal. 8 out of 10, definitely. Solid defensively as well. 8 out of 10.
Would you like him to do like a John Stones role, move him into a side midfielders?
No,
midfieldish. I think
it's been discussed.
I think he could do it, but I don't think he will do it. But
he's played that position for Switzerland before, and I believe under Bruce he played it a couple of times. But let's just keep him where he is. I think those two are pretty awesome defensive.
He's at centre back, and he sometimes finds himself up front.
It's brilliant to watch sometimes. Right, we'll go with Bruno now. Billy.
Yeah, he thinks he's had an awful game, but all those stats I've had earlier says different. He was partly at fault for the goal. He was brilliantly tackled by Lavia. He was found wanting, and he knew it wasn't a foul because he got straight up and chased him. First half, like the rest of the team, he was slightly off, and maybe because he was slightly off, the whole team were, because he balls everything. Second half, different kettle fish. Second half, superb. Again, ran the game. I'm going to give him an 8.
I'm giving him a 7, but a 7 for all the same reasons, Billy. I thought, he. I don't think he had a bad game, but I don't think he had a brilliant game, and so therefore 7 for me is a pretty good score for Bruno. Jack,
Bruno. I like Billy said. I don't know why he came out. So he didn't think he was that good today. I thought he was very. I thought him and Gordon were two of our brightest players in the first half. Bruno was trying a lot of switches from left to right. I thought he was defensively sound. I think a few tackles like coming in from behind, making sure he got the ball so it wasn't a foul. I think his defending was quite solid today. But I think he didn't have the best game ever, but he didn't have the worst game ever. So I go 8.
Did someone just strum a guitar there?
Sorry, it's my stand.
All right.
My hand's moving like
that. We'll move to Joe Linton. I'm going to give Joe a 7. I don't think he was as influential as he was second half against Everton. He gave the ball away a few times in the first half, but he's still there. He's still grafting in midfield. I don't think he honestly likes playing that Longstaff position on the right. I don't think he likes it there. His game is much more left-sided, where he can get more involved. But listen, again, a 7. It's not exactly a bad score. So I just love the guy. Billy?
I agree with that. I thought he was shocking first half. And I think once they moved him from that right centre midfield position a bit more to the left, he was much better. So I think 7 is fair.
Yeah. Jack?
I thought, when I was watching first half, Joel, I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why is he that? He was shocking. He was diabolical first half. Second half came into the game a little bit more, but I can't get over that first half. He was sloppy defensively. Every time he tried to clear the ball, fell to a Southampton player. Then they got more shots off. I think I'll go with 7.
Okay. Joe Willock. Now, for me, Joe Willock didn't have a particularly good game today. He was a little bit anonymous. Came into the game a little bit more in the second half. But he wasn't, for me, at the races today. So I'm giving Joe Willock a 6. Jack?
Yeah, I didn't see a lot from Joe Willock today, but I don't think he had a good game either. And I totally agree. I'll give him a 6.
Billy?
I thought he was much better second half than what it was first. He was anonymous first half, but second half he got into the game actually and was the closest player to Wilson at times. For the second half alone, I'm going to give him a 7.
Okay, fair enough. 6s and 7s in the chat. I just think, again, this week off will do Joe Willock the world of good to recharge and get going.
Joe Linton looked knackered as well.
Yeah, he did. I mean, at the end, I don't know whether you guys noticed, but at the end, there was a lot of Newcastle players went down onto the, hunches, just absolutely knackered. Even the full, Botman did, and they were knackered. So it will be. I'm sure Eddie will give them a couple of days off to re-energize and get back in for training. Right, we'll move up to Murphy on the right-hand side, Jack.
I don't think Murphy had a good game today. I think, like we just said there, knackered. I think he was a bit tired as well. I don't think he had a good game. He put the effort in like he always does, but nothing worked for him. So I'll give him a 6.
Okay, Billy?
I think his forwards on the right-hand side, it's when Eddie swapped him around to get Gordon on the right. I think that's when it went pear-shaped for him. He had the one shot, he just curved over the bar, didn't he, at the Leeds end? Don't know if you remember it, Paul. Just over the corner. Post the bar, which wasn't far away. Looked closer than what it was actually. Well, it looked on first shoot. I thought it was way over the bar, but it wasn't. It was quite close. But apart from that, God, he didn't do an awful lot, did he? So I think 6 is a fair score for him.
I'm giving him a 5. I just thought he was middle of the road. He wasn't, apart from that one shot. I mean, he made a good run, I think, in the second half, and his shot was blocked when he cut across the 18-yard box. But apart from that, he wasn't. But listen, Murphy will be tired as well. And look, we've said this a million times that there's not one of that 11 that is going to go on that pitch and perform like they did against Tottenham every single game, or Manchester United every single game. They will have off days. It's how they respond next time they're on the pitch. But it's interesting because Miggy's chomping at the bit. You can see that to get back in. We move on to the other side. Anthony Gordon, Billy.
Yeah, for anyone to score because he was much better than what he's been in previous weeks on the left-hand side. However, I thought he was very predictable. And not in the way we thought he'd be, because generally he's cut inside every time he's had the ball. Today was the opposite. He went on the outside and had some success doing it. If he just varied it a bit, occasionally go on the inside, occasionally go on the outside. Yeah, his right foot's his strongest, and he hardly used it the whole of the first half. But he was quite prominent in the first half. He was our brightest player, I thought.
He was.
So for just one half of football, I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah, I'm going with the 7 as well. I think it would have been an 8 had he scored, but just was unlucky. But I think he was our brightest spark in the first half because every time he got the ball, he was taking the Southampton fullback on every time, and most of the time he had him beaten. It was just that final ball into the box that he just couldn't find a Newcastle player. So yeah, 7 for me. Jack?
That chance with Gordon where he hit the post. More times that happens, the more chance he's got of scoring next time. Because more than chances fall to you as a forward, the more confidence you get getting in the positions and getting closer to the goals. I think if that one falls to him again, I think he'll score. But it's good that he's getting in them positions, and it's good that he's finding himself in them positions. He made some good runs as well, left hand side, which ones I like. Isak picked him out. Good runs for only one half of football. I didn't know what to do at second half because I thought he was one of our most brightest players and one of our best players in the first half. So I'll get for one half alone. I agree 7.
Okay, right. Alexander Isak. Now, obviously, we're marking him over a full game. Half of the game he played striker, half on the left. I'm going to give him an 8 because I want to give him more because he's class. But at the same time, I think we have to take the first half into account when we're doing these player ratings. And, he didn't do anything in the first half. But people that say he didn't get the ball or whatever, but he just didn't. None of them did. So an 8 for me. Jack?
For me, I'm giving him a 9.
Okay.
Reason being, first half, I thought he was very quiet. But for me, we didn't utilise him enough. We went too left, we went too right. Isak was kind of stuck in the middle. We didn't really utilise him enough. I think if we did utilise him enough, I think we might have got a goal. But second half definitely came into the game a lot more. Got more involved, picked out Wilson a lot of times, ran out defenders, and I think he had a way better second half because he got used a little more. So I'll give him a 9.
Cool. Billy?
I've got Stato's ratings here also, by the way. Sorry about that. Pope 7, Trippier 6, Shah 8, Botman 8, Burn 7, Bruno 8, Joe Linton 7. That's as far as he's got so far. Who are we on now? Isak. Got some of the things he did second half outstanding. And the other thing that was outstanding was the through ball he put through for Gordon in the first half. It was an absolutely astonishing pass through the defence. Yeah, no, I think 9's fair. I think it's brilliant.
Okay, fair enough. What did Alex give Isak?
Alex give Willock an 8 and Isak a 9.
Okay, fair enough. You give Willock 8.
He's give Gordon a 7 as well, and Murphy a 7.
Willock an 8 and Murphy a 7. Wow. He must be in a generous mood today because his good lady's over. So there you go. Right. The first substitute was, of course, Callum Wilson. I've got to give Callum a 10. I simply have to because he was incredible. His running off the ball, his hold-up play, not the fact that he scored 2 goals, could have had 4. He was just dominating. And I love the way he's linking up with Isak as well when they need to. So, bang, 10 for Wilson. Billy?
Yeah, Alex also gives Wilson a 10, and I'm gonna echo with you two also. Fantastic second half performance. Fox in the box. And that's what he is. That little shimmy he gave Alex McCarthy to make him fall over before he slotted into an empty net was terrific. Terrific.
Yep. Jack?
10 all round. I think he changed the game. His hold-up play again was brilliant. His finishing, top class, top draw. And if I'm being honest, I'm giving my man the match.
Okay. I don't see why not, to be honest. Yeah, he was outstanding. What's Stato give him?
Stato give him a 10 also. Yeah.
Okay, look. Right, next up to come on was Miggy, wasn't it? So Miggy did all right, I thought, when he came on. He was very active down that right-hand side, made a couple of nice runs, linked up well with Bruno again. I'm going to give Miggy an 8. I thought he was getting back to his normal self today. So 8 from me. Billy Bob?
Yeah, I shall give him an 8 also. I thought he really did help with the attacking play, energy down the right-hand side, coming in, of course. And yeah, had a really good game. Looked really confident as well, which he hasn't done the past couple of games. Yeah,
good point. Jack?
I agree, Billy. He looked a lot more confident today, and getting more minutes in the system, and then he'll progressively get more minutes and more minutes and more minutes. And I think he was did all right, but this is just about getting minutes. He's just come back from an injury. Give him some good minutes, and he should be back to his fine form. I'll give him an 8.
Okay. I'm trying to think who else came on.
Anderson
and Richie came on right at the end, so we're not going to mark them. They didn't really have enough to do in the game. Eddie Howe it gets a 10 from me. I don't know about you guys, but I think he has to because he made that decision. It could have, it was a risky decision, taking sort of the guy who was looking our best attacking player in the first half, but he made that decision. It was brave. And I thought his other substitutes were at the right time. So, yeah, I can't think of anything but a 10.
I agree with that. And I think Southampton substitutes were the exact opposite. I mean, Maitland-Niles when he came on.
Dear God. I mean,
that fourth goal. Jesus, what are you doing? Worse than Spurs.
Third goal, you mean, Billy?
Third goal, yeah. Sorry, we didn't score 4, did we?
But listen, I liked how Isak didn't give that up, by the way. And he didn't give it up. And then you just know, when Callum Wilson is this Callum Wilson that we know and love, that he's going to be sniffing around anywhere to pick the ball up. And then obviously what he did to go around the keeper was brilliant. So, right. And I'm going to score the referee today, and I'm going to give Anthony Taylor a 9. I very rarely do this on the show, but I thought we have to mention him because Anthony Taylor's took a lot of stick from us in the past, but I thought he refereed that game rather well today.
I only saw one mistake that he made, and that was the yellow card that Lavia got. I think it was on Murphy. It might not have been Murphy, but it was 2-footed above the ankles. I thought it was a red card.
It was Wilson, that.
Yeah, it might be Wilson. It was in the first half.
Yeah, it was Wilson.
Wilson holding his shin. That was an awful challenge. Yeah, awful challenge.
The thing
is,
might be Wilson. Yeah. I mean, Wilson, isn't that VAR's duty though to let the referee know that there's a possible red card?
Yeah, I agree.
Very well. That's on the shirt. That's on the shirt.
Yeah,
no chance.
But listen, I thought Anthony Taylor did okay. I don't think he was anything against us today. I think he made the right decisions. He told Southampton to get on with the game numerous times in the first half. He actually booked Stuart Armstrong when he went off for delaying the game, which I think was really good. He then booked the Southampton manager for dissent. So, I can't complain about Anthony Taylor today, to be honest.
On first view, I thought the Lavia tackle on Bruno for the goal was a foul, but it wasn't. Absolutely not. Very good tackle.
But yeah, I mean, the referee only sees it in an instant and decides that it's a yellow card. It's up to VAR then to intervene and say, ref, you need to go and look at the screen here. We think we've got a red card. But they didn't. So, it's just the way it is, unfortunately. But there we go. That is the match review done and dusted, guys. We've had over 1,000 watching tonight on a late Sunday night show, which is absolutely fabulous. So thank you very much to everybody. Thank you to the new members and super chatters. We're having a night off tomorrow night with it being bank holiday, but there will be a video out. I will bring out the match day vlog tomorrow morning, so you can have a look at that and let me know what you think. Is it worth me continuing to do them? I'll be interested to know in the comments what you think. So if you can comment under that match day vlog and let me know, because I quite enjoyed it actually. Taking the old cameras with us today and getting everything done, and more of that to come. But thank you to the mods for a very, very busy day. Superb. Thank you so much to them. Billy, a long shift on a couple of shows today. And Jack, thank you very much. And thank you, of course, to Alex. But you guys out there are legends. We continue to grow as a channel. The subscribers keep coming in. And that's down to you guys sharing the channel and hitting the like button, basically. It gets us up there and noticed by everybody. So thank you so much for that. But that is it. Have a very nice rest of your bank holiday weekend, guys. Look out for the video tomorrow, and we'll see you for another live on Tuesday. But in the meantime, good night.
How are the lads?
That is 3 points.